Can you go to the next slide, please? So on another component that they have to do is this reflection. Again, naturally teachers reflect after every single lesson, but we want to help kind of hone these skills and this practice in our new hires. And they just have to submit a reflection log just once a month. So yes, they'll probably do it after every lesson, especially if they meet with you after a lesson, they'll naturally do a little bit of reflection. But we want to make sure they're thinking through the reflection, asking the right questions, and really delving a little bit deeper on at least one of the lessons. And again, this is to support other areas in the Danielson framework. As experienced teachers, these are all things that come naturally, and we do these automatically. So we want our new teachers, our new hires, to start developing the skills to do this automatically. So these are just two different additions that we're adding to our induction program this year that we really think are going to help support our new hires in the long run, and kind of give them the tools they need to be successful.
Okay, so now we're going to go over how we've moved all of this from the binders and being a paper pencil process to the online process. So this is the landing page. It will also have a video of how to use the course when it's completed. So once the whole course is completed on Canvas, we'll then add that video when we have everything added. So what it's broken down to from that homepage. So on the home landing page, there's monthly requirements that list everything by each month. And then there's also inductee information. So on the monthly requirements, it has things like the consultation visits to observe, and it's similar to our current plan. Basically just whatever was listed in each month, those things got listed out. We made a few small changes. The things that are bigger changes are the reflection logs and the lesson plans. So the two things that Joe just talked about, here's where they're lined up on for each month. And then the months, instead of saying in September, you need to do this, in October, you need to do this, it's listed by month because we do have staff that's hired throughout the year. So when they open up each of these links, it's going to give them the information that they need. So the consultation visits these are the meetings that will be with you. For the early visits, in addition to just being the rest of the breakdown from the consultation, there's more guidance in terms of here's the things that you should talk about on your first meeting. So month one, visit one, things like review the induction plan and what they need to go for, the district mission, vision, and shared values, the induction overview and timeline, create lesson plans together for week one, start working on that assigned checklist. So there's more guidance in the earlier visits, and then there's a more general statement for the future visits. So all of the consultations have this documentation built in, just the date of your meeting, what topics did you discuss with your mentor? And there's a number of different topics that are all listed in the information area. And then this, and again, this is to be completed by the inductee. So what were the significant learning outcomes from the meeting? What was it that they talked about that are like, oh, here's the key things that I learned. And then the final thing is just what actions do you need to follow up from the meeting? So is this bringing work samples, modifying lesson plans? Do they need to research more? So just giving them some, okay, after this meeting, here's what you need to do to continue improving. The other meetings and observations are also listed and linked by month, and there's guidance for what needs to be discussed. So the technology facilitator meetings, these are all linked out on the Canvas site too. So working on that technology facilitator checklist, and completing this form. So they have things like date of meeting, significant learning, future things. And this is also where things like observing the mentoring class, observing those other teachers, everything's listed in that final column. The induction information page has information for the following categories. So again, from that homepage, one was the monthly requirements, lays it all out. The next one is this induction information. And so in here, it has things like job specific checklist. There's also topics and resources for consultation visits. The technology facilitator checklist is here. There's district information, like information from the union is there, information from CNI is there, and also resources from all the required district trainings. So they're going to go through these required district new hire trainings, but then you can always go back and look at those resources with them if there's ever questions about things that have been presented. And then the official documentation that the induction program for Central Dauphin was completed, this will still be paper. So this will be printed out and everyone will sign this. So this will be a paper documentation of completing the program. We will have everything else, the half-year reflections, the end-of-year reflections, all of that will be done digitally, but this official piece will be done by paper. So I think that this might help answer a number of questions. What we're going to do is the inductees have their course. And for right now, what I did was I just made a copy of what we've built so far as a mentor course. Ultimately, what's going to happen is those requirements for the inductees, I'll take those out, but I wanted to provide you with all of the information that they're going to see so you could get a feel for what their end will look like. And in the end, after this, and I'll put this link in the chat here. When you come and go into the course, you'll be able to take a look and see everything that they'll see. And the requirements that you have, like your mid-year reflection, your end-of-year reflection, those things are going to be added to this once I'm finished. Like I want to build out the inductees first and then make all the changes for the mentors. And for the new hires, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take out all the induction requirements, but still give them all of the information that our new hires from other districts that the inductees get. So if we go here and go to the course, this is the link that I put in the chat. This will then have you join. You'll then be able to go in and take a look at these monthly requirements and take a look at everything that's here. And then the induction information link, if you click here, you can see here's all of the job checklists that we've collected so far. And then there's information. And I would say, here's where we're going to get to the point. We're not done completing everything here. So if you click over here, like teacher induction information, this information is here. If you start getting into some of these topics over here, they won't have the information that they ultimately will have before the start of next year. Then the technology facilitator checklist are down here and district information at the bottom. Okay. At this time, are there other questions that are in the chat that we should go back to answer?
Keep going. We're trying to answer them as we see them the best we can.
Oh, I believe that was the end of our presentation.
Yeah, some of the questions we may, as a team, need to go back and discuss, but we'll definitely follow up with everybody if we don't get to your answer in the chat.
Okay, well, our presentation's done. If you would like to take some time to look at the course that was built on Canvas, that might help you with some more questions that we could answer right now. Well, there's a good question. Technology facilitators have access. I can add them all to the mentor course, so then they would have the same access.
We will send out the slides. Yes, we'll follow up with sharing out the slides and more, some more information after the presentation.
We could put the slides on the mentor Canvas page as well. Absolutely. If we have an inductee that starts in January, then their month one would be January. They would start on either that first or third Wednesday of the month and then go through to the end.
Chris, I think she means started this past January.
Oh, okay.
They're doing they would be doing the 1-year induction program. So they are grandfathered into the previous 1-year induction program. They will not be doing the 2-year.
In terms of any special education classes that have followed a different type of lesson plan in the past, I think that that should continue. It should be what the lesson plan is that supports those students. Yes, you could share the Canvas link for anyone who's missed this meeting today. That is what we'll use the recording to send to the mentors who are not able to come. Does our team have an answer for the observation requirement for new hires that are not classroom teachers, like counselors?
I think the actual quantity of observations is the same. And you would use domains 2 and 3 of whatever rubric would be for that particular role. We don't have it broken down into like a checklist like we did with the Danielson framework for teaching one right now, but that is something that we can work on.